Good afternoon, everybody. Edward Leos here, publisher of the Hotel Guide and host of Travel Talk. Man, I am really excited about today's session. We're bringing Vegas into the house. I'm really excited about having this guest on our podcast today, Vice President of Marketing for Resort World Las Vegas, Mr. Ronn Nicolli. Really excited to have you on our show today, Ron. How are you doing?
Great. Things have been great. We came out of an exciting Super Bowl week, and I finally think the town and my team are recovered.
I can imagine. It was quite a spectacle. I know we chatted a little bit before the Super Bowl, and I was like, yeah, we ain't doing anything any remotely near that time at all. So I'm glad you survived. You look good. Everything's going well. So we're talking about Resort World, but let's talk about yourself. How did you get into the industry, and how'd you end up, landing a gig there at Resort World?
Yeah, I started out in the Vegas hospitality industry 20 some years ago. I moved out here from a small town in Ohio. I think like this was never really the plan. There was ambition in life, but I don't know if it lived in the hospitality space initially.
Yeah.
And I got into this, and the world was exciting. It was fast paced, but I thought at some point there was going to be an expiration to it. And originally, coming into this marketplace and being educated in marketing, I really took a different trajectory to get where I'm at. I spent about 18 years in the nightlife industry, specifically in Las Vegas. And again, this was someone who was educated in marketing, somewhat introverted, and really isn't a nightlife guy, right?
Yeah.
In most cases, I don't drink, I don't really hang out. But it was the path, and I think it was an exciting path that allowed me to be creative and have creative ideas and look at what would now be considered experiential events before people were using those type of words.
Correct.
And again, it kind of led me down that path. And then, interesting enough, when I met the Lim family, who are the owners of Resort World, I went to dinner with them one night with my wife, and I just felt like a very strong connection. I felt that they were great people. I had knew their story and what they had been able to accomplish. It was a family-based company. It was generational, and to me that was exciting. And they were doing something that was, not necessarily revolutionary, but the first ground-up resort to be built in over a decade in Las Vegas, and it was by a company that was a little bit foreign to the Las Vegas Strip, but they had a lot of great energy to them. So it was a lot of passion, and I was excited that they welcomed me into the team and the family.
No, it sounds incredible. So I know you touch a little bit on the experiential side. I'm going to go a little bit back in time before we talk about Resort World. What were some of the fun things that you did from an experiential side?
Well, it's funny because all of these things now seem very commonplace, right?
Yeah.
Like you're seeing brands activating out of market from a casino, from a resort casino perspective to a nightlife perspective, or going into every out of market destination now and trying to activate an event or branding or a combination of, years ago when we were doing this, going out and doing Sundance or doing something at Coachella, it was very foreign, and now it just seems to be very commonplace. But those are the things that were exciting. Like I remember the first time going out to the Sundance Film Festival and activating for the Wynn Resort and for Wynn Nightlife. Was really exciting. It was really exciting to see the brand in another marketplace, to understand the consumer connection. And again, relating back to Vegas, right? Like we were going out there with intent of just really trying to be in front of kind of future customer acquisition, but also being able to speak to current customers and provide experiences outside of Vegas. Sometimes when you're constantly trying to drive that consumer to Vegas, it gets to a point where it feels a little disingenuous or feels a little bit transactional. So that was really about experiential and having a touch on the customer.
Well, I love that. You're talking about the experiential side of marketing, but also the relational side of marketing, which, we really foster that kind of same thing with the Hotel Guide. Being in business for 31 years, you kind of have to. You can't just be a transactional type of business. And so I can definitely relate to you on the marketing side. So as we transition from the experiential past to now the experiential present and future with Resort World, tell me what makes this property so special.
Well, like I've said it before, this is a property that's interesting. I spent over a decade at a strictly luxury brand, right? And again, you understood the consumer you wanted, and you also understood that the curation or I would say the evolution of your future consumer was happening outside of that campus. Here, we essentially have no barriers. You have experiences for any type of age or personality demographic,
Mm.
and we can curate those experiences. We sit with three different hotel brands under one campus with Hilton, Conrad, and Crockford, and there's connected experiences to each one of those brands. So a consumer coming here can really create a path or journey that is going to be really tailored to the experiences they're coming to Vegas looking for, which is completely unique. When I look at the campus that we've put together, we provide a very broad demographic, and we provide a very broad spectrum of experiences that a customer can have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because we have that type of opportunity, it not only gives us the ability to grow a consumer in-house,
Yeah.
it does give us the ability to almost acquire consumers from our competition. And then also looking at maybe getting someone to traditionally do something that they wouldn't do because it is here.
Yeah, so this is almost like a marketer's dream, it sounds like, in Las Vegas.
Oh, absolutely. And again, when you look at the different marketing language that we're going out with, it has to be refined. It is broad in some sense, but we
Mm-hmm.
know that we have to tailor it to the consumer audience that we feel is going to create that human reaction, that human connection, right? I mean, because that's ultimately the goal, right?
Yep.
Let's create some intrigue, and then from the element of intrigue and curiosity, we create an action, which then hopefully leads to an experience and revenue.
No, definitely experience, revenue, shared memories, moments, and letting that funnel work to get people there to the property. So I've been there. I love it. It's a fantastic property for sure. So as we're beginning the first quarter of almost to the end of first quarter of 2024, what do you guys have on tap maybe for the upcoming spring, summer months that maybe some of our listeners would should get a little excited about?
I think what we've done a great job of as a team here as a property is really activating the entire property and campus. We saw that for F1, we saw it for New Year's Eve, we saw
Mhm.
it for Super Bowl. March Madness is the next one coming up. And again, with watch parties and different entertainment that'll be around the property with the guys, the nightlife guys have some great things programmed. It's exciting. It's exciting because you come in here and you really do feel that there's an immersive touch points that makes you feel like you're coming to a March Madness experience, right? Coming out of that, Hotel EDC in May, we're probably, look, I've been in this town a while. EDC's been in this
Yeah.
town over a decade. The first property to really forge an experiential relationship and partnership with EDC and say, hey, come in, take over one of the towers, create an experience for your consumer. And it gives us the opportunity to look at our future consumer set, right? Like I think
Mhm.
the hope and goal is they come for EDC. And then when they come in future visits or future years, now Resort World is top of mind. June, very excited. That's our anniversary month, so as we're slowly creeping up on 3 years, it's
Nice.
kind of a magic anniversary in my mind,
Yep.
and again, looking at some things, we're looking at some different things with Kevin Hart throughout the summer.
Mhm.
And again, the year seems to fly by so quick. We'll be turning over for F1 and then New Year's Eve again. So, but a lot of great things over the next couple months. The properties really come to life. Look, I tell everyone it's kind of caught fire at this point.
Mhm.
I mean, look, I'm biased, but I felt that we were the big winners coming out of Super Bowl to start your week with NFL honors and to essentially close the Sunday night with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce hanging out in Zook and partying
Yep.
based on winning a championship. I don't think you could have written a better story.
Yeah, you couldn't have scripted that any better. That definitely was a marketing person's dream to have that kind of coverage and have that kind of impact on a global scale. I mean, we're not talking, just the United States. We're talking global with regards to, Taylor Swift and Kelsey and the family all being there as well. So that's some good stuff right there. But I'm excited to know more about that as well. But as we're heading into uh, transitioning a little bit, let's talk a little bit about the personal side. I always like to ask my guests, what are some of your favorite travel destinations, and then any bucket lists that you have on mind?
I'm going to go out to Stagecoach this year. It's been a while since I've been. I went many years ago early on, and I think it's really developed at this point, and it
Mm-hmm.
feels that there's a lot of good buzz behind it. I'm excited to go out there for Stagecoach. This summer, actually looking potentially to do a trip with the family to Italy. That's something we've been
Nice.
talking about for a while. The last few summers have kind of been a mix. We've done Hawaii as a family trip, and then
Mm-hmm.
normally me and my wife will go over to a part of Europe that's, I mean, look, in this line of work, you're never really turning it off. So even when I've been in Ibiza or
Correct.
Mykonos the last couple summers, it's really been more research and discovery, if
Mhm.
anything, seeing
Yeah.
what's going on. A lot of those trends or consumer behaviors end up coming to the domestic marketplaces and then make their way to Las Vegas. So really just keeping that mindset turned on as you're there. But I mean, those are kind of the places I'd like to go. And then honestly, it's funny when you talk bucket list, because being a kid from a small town in Ohio that moved out here, I tell the story. I was born in Ohio. I thought I might travel a few places domestically, and then truthfully thought I'd die in Ohio. And the fact that I've been able to travel a lot of places
Yeah.
around the world, that has been something I never expected.
No, definitely. It's the power of the hospitality industry, and it really it opens things up for a lot of people. I was born and raised here in San Antonio, never thought of the hospitality industry as a career, and all of a sudden I'm publisher of a nationally distributed magazine when I was 25, and so here we are 31 years later, and the publication is just kind of flourishing in everything that we're doing now. So I understand exactly what you're talking about. I'm gonna ask you this question. It's off script.
All
But
right.
it should be a good one. If you could put Resort World in one word or phrase, what would that be for our guest?
That's interesting. That's a great question. One word, memories.
Memories.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Look, I walk the property every night, and the one thing that I would say this property does well is creates energy and creates experiences. And the one thing that gets me excited when I'm kind of doing my end of the night property walk and I'm
Mhm.
moving around the property is you're seeing the way that people are interacting. You're seeing they're having fun. If they're
Yeah,
gambling, if they're at dinner, if they're grabbing a donut at Randy's, like those are the things that get me excited and happy. And that's when I look at being a marketer and being a storyteller. All
yeah,
of those look like great conclusions to a story, right? So it's almost like a rom-com in some sense. But I don't know, memories, and I think that's what we're really here to create.
no, I agree, and I think you hit it the nail right on the head there. And that's Vegas, but that's hospitality in general, and you guys do it so well. Um, how's the best way for our readers, our followers, to find about Resort World? What's the best way to connect with you guys?
Honestly, I always tell people that the website is going to be the best path.
Okay.
The team has done an amazing job. It's a very user-friendly website. Anytime we're going to have specialized weekends of events, we lock those into a great like microsite that's going to be very a la carte to kind of build your experience and know what's going on. And again, so I would say I always direct people to the website because I think we've really put together a complete thought from a consumer perspective of what to do when in Vegas and what to do at Resort World.
Perfect. So go ahead and give our guests your domain name for everyone on the show.
Is it just RW Is it
There
RW
we go.
RWLasVegas.com.
rwvegas.com. Awesome. No, Ron, I want to thank you for being on the podcast today. I know we've been trying to catch up with each other on this. You give the guests a glimpse into what Resort World really is. I've been there. I experienced it, and it's an emotional experience. And I want to thank you for being a guest on our podcast today. And hopefully, it's not the last time having you on as well. I'd love to hear more about some of your other experiences, and then when Resort World kind of goes on to doing some of the bigger and better things, especially around the anniversary time. So excited and thankful for having you on the show today.
No, thank you for taking the time with me today. Again, I was excited that you guys asked me to be on. So really humble and appreciate you taking the time with me.
Well, perfect. To all our guests out there, please please share, please get the word out there, because this is a fantastic property and a great place to go if you're going to Las Vegas. And it's something that a lot of people can feel proud about when they go and attend and make those memories. So in the meantime, follow us on thehotelguide.com and travel and make memories, like we just said, at Resort World and get them out there as well. So in the meantime, everyone take care. We'll talk soon.